All right, folks, Colin here from the Giggle Shack. I just want to do a quick video for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I've finally discovered how to film and upload in landscape. So if you've watched any of our other videos, you've noticed that they're all in portrait, even though we'd filmed it with my camera that way. Yeah, I just learned how to change the settings. So I wanted to do one just to see how it looks properly. And secondly, I thought, I'll give you a little tour of Runcorn Old Town. It's only going to be a short video, and maybe tell you a little bit about me. Well, more importantly, the comedy nights that I run. That's what it's all about. So anyway, this is Runcorn. This is where I live. So over there in the background, you've got the I think it's a fairly iconic Runcorn Windus Bridge, which you may know if you're a fan of the sitcom Two Pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps, or if you just watched it, you might recognise it from that. And then over there in the distance, you can't really see it. It's a bit misty, it's a bit far away. You see the three pillars there, 1, 2, 3. That's the Mersey Gateway. So a bit controversial, these bridges now, because they charge to get over them. And a lot of people get caught out because it's not particularly easy to see where you've got to pay. There's like, as you drive on, it just says pay at merseygateway.co.uk or something. You've got to midnight the next day. So many people forget or don't realise or don't know where to pay, which I think is a little bit of a swizz. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to have a little walk into Runcorn. I've got to go and get some bits. It's not like Christmas. At Christmas time, you've got to get bits and bobs. This time, I'm just going out for bits, going to swap hands because it's pretty sore. But yeah, it's a lovely morning, nice and crisp. Hope the weather's not too bad wherever you are. I know it's been pretty chaotic for a lot of people. But I'm going away at the weekend. I'm very lucky in the job that I do. I get to travel to Chicago at the beginning of the year. It's like minus ridiculous over there, but it's a really cool place. So I'm looking forward to that. The swap hands, because you can see my finger there. So I've got to go out and get some stuff. So I thought I'd take you along with me. I'm not going to film the shops or anything because he wants to go and see a Savers shop. But yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about the Giggle Shack. It'd be great if you put some comments in to let me know if you've been to one of our shows or who who you'd like to see at one of our shows if you live. So the Giggle Shack is based in Runcorn, where I live. We've got a few different venues. In fact, I'll come back to that shortly. Just going to put my hand back in my pocket because I'm freezing, and we shall resume filming forthwith. Just see the deck behind me over there. So if you did watch our a video from the other day, you'd have seen I've already walked down here with Jen, but I thought I'd come out today because when I decided I was going to come out for a quick walk, it was nice and sunny and it looked amazing, but now it's gone a bit grey again. I'm thinking, why is that absolute tool wearing sunglasses when it's really not that bright out? But it was, trust me, it was about 10 minutes ago. So anyway, for those that would like to know, so I'm Colin. I run the Giggle Shack. Basically, I was a stand-up comedian. I done my first gig in 2011 at a place called the Frog and Bucket. It's mad. The show's called Beat the Frog, which pretty much, if you're a fan of comedy and you're based in the Northwest, most of the comedians, if you go out and watch gigs, most of the comedians that you'll see, some of them, have been on TV now, started at that gig. I started off going there because I actually tweeted Sarah Millican. This is like back in 2010, and I just basically said, I'm looking to get into stand-up comedy. No idea where to start. Any ideas? Any suggestions? And she just tweeted or replied with a link to this place called the Frog and Bucket in Manchester, and this show called Beat the Frog, where basically anyone can sign up to do it. So I put my name down for it. Got my first spot. Basically, the premise of the show is you get up to 5 minutes to impress the audience. 3 members of the audience get these little cards, this green card with frogs on, hence the Beat the Frog. And if they don't like you, they hold the card up. Once you get 3 cards, then bosh, off you go. So I went along to do that. You get a maximum of 5 minutes. I lasted, I think it was 1 minute and 20 something seconds before I got hoyed off. And the compere on that night was the person who actually set up Beat the Frog. Was a guy you may or may not know if you're a comedy fan called Dan Nightingale, who is part of the mega successful Have a Word podcast. really famous now. So he was the compere of the first ever gig that I done, and saw me die on my ass. So that basically put me off. I didn't do it again for 12 months. 2012, I done it again. Same thing happened. Died on my ass, and didn't really get back into it. I started again 2014, and started getting slightly better. But ultimately, after that, I started doing pretty well, progressing through the open mics and all that, and started getting paid. I actually had a modicum of success at stand up. I mean, I don't know what. I guess you think of people being successful in comedies like you being on the telly, but that's the ultimate goal. Look at these geese. Hi, geese. I always find it's better to say hello to them because they can get quite angry. I said hello to a swan once, never said anything back. But yeah, so yeah, I started making my way up the ladder, started getting paid within 12 months of doing it. But I kind of, after, I don't know, about 4 years, 3 or 4 years, I kind of started to hit a bit of a ceiling with it because it's dead hard. And people say it's hard to get up and, try and make people laugh, which it is. But once you start doing it, you kind of, oh, there's my finger again. And you start progressing. The hardest part is actually getting work and doing decent gigs because there's loads of terrible gigs out there that don't pay you anything, or promoters will tell you they'll pay you if you do well, do a trial spot. And so it's just really hard. And I was sick of doing these gigs in corners of pubs to next to nobody. Nobody was there. Sometimes just performing to the rest of the acts. And I wanted to just do the good gigs with the best comedians. So I thought, you know what? No one's booking me to do these better gigs anymore. So I'll set up my own, and came up with the name, the Giggle Shack. That was in 2017, and now we had one venue down at Helsby Sports Club, uh, which is gone now. That's been demolished for the building houses on the site, but we've moved. Same people, just different site, a bit further down the road. And we have 5 different gigs now. We've got Helsby Sports Club, which is the OG. Got Society Limited in Runcorn, which we might actually walk past, although I just started snowing again, so I don't know. We've got the Goshawk out towards Chester, Halton Stadium, which is beautiful, and we do the Brindley Theatre once a year. We've had people like Paul Smith come along, Clinton Baptiste, Dan Nightingale's done it loads of times, Hal Cruttenden, Rosie Jones. That's some big names. Some names you would never have heard of. Some, TV names, but always brilliant. So what I would say is actually, if you do have a comedy club, just going to cross over here. There's the bridge again, by the way. See a bit better from here. If you've got a comedy club on your doorstep and you've never been because you've never heard of any of the comedians, or you don't think it's going to be any good, just give it a go. Most of the time the tickets are pretty cheap, and you'll see some top acts that you could end up, becoming famous, or they could have been on the circuit for years, make a good living out of. Oh, that's really crap, isn't it? Out of being on the circuit. Anyway, I'm going to put my hand back in my pocket because it's freezing, and we'll start again in a few minutes. My hand is almost warm back up again, and I'll just reach the. I thought I'd show you the underbelly of the bridge. You can just see the arch there. It looks pretty spectacular. All lights up now at night as well. They put like a bit of a light show on, which some of the locals didn't like, because some of the locals in Runcorn, don't like anything at all, apart from complaining. It looks pretty nice, and that's the railway bridge as well. It's like, 150 something years old. It used to be like an old transporter bridge, which I should have showed you really, which used to be it was like a lift or something. Cars would get on that and they'd take you over to the other side. But then they built this, and didn't have to do it anymore. Obs. But yeah, just going back to the Giggle Chat. Yeah, so it's we've got 5 different venues now. It's going really, really well, and it would be great to see some new people coming along. We've got loads of stuff coming up. So the next one we've got actually is on Saturday, the 1st of February at Society Limited. Now, Society Limited, it did start off originally. It's changed so much in that. It's so good, that place. It was originally on a Sunday night in the bar, because we have to do it on Sunday nights because Saturday was the busy night. Sunday was always quiet. Because the venue was only small, we could only put it in the bar, so they shut the bar down just for us. So it started off with like 50 people, Had some amazing gigs in there. People like Dan Nightingale's been along there. Archie Kelly done it. You might recognise him from Phoenix Nights. He's performed there. Linda Gilligan, loads of amazing comedians. But since those early days of just being in the bar, we've moved now. It's actually now got its own. Oh, bloody hell. They've got this own event space, which is absolutely amazing. All the comedians that come and do it love it because it's just perfect for comedy. Anyway, the main point of that was to let you know that's not on Sundays anymore, because a lot of people said, "Oh, we can't really do Sundays because we're in work the next day." But you know, I got that, but some people weren't bothered about that. But anyway, so now we've switched it to Saturday nights because it's got its own little space now, and you can get like 90 people in there. Dan Nightingale's done some tour shows in there, a couple of like work in progress shows. Scott Bennett, who you may have seen recently on the Royal Variety performance, he done it recently. So from this year onwards now, it's going to be the first Saturday of every month. Every month, it's going to be a triple headliner show. So every act that's on the bill is a headline quality act, and the tickets are only 14 quid. So it's every Saturday night. So loads of people said to me, "Oh, we can't really come on Sundays because of work and all that," which you get, like I said before, I get. But now you don't have to worry because it's Saturday nights, and because of where we are, because we're based in Runcorn, just near Liverpool, not far from Manchester. There's loads of different clubs, so we're getting some top name comedians that are doing other clubs in Liverpool and Manchester to come along and do our gig, and they're doubling up so we can get acts up from London. So it's going to be brilliant. So just come along if if you're in Runcorn, Widnes, even if you're in like South Liverpool, you can get the train. It's like Society, which I'll show you in a second, is like a 5-minute walk from Runcorn train station. So you can get there for next to nothing. You'd have to get a taxi back. Well, that's pretty cheap if there's a few of you. But it's brilliant. People always say I live in one of those towns. It's only a small town, and I'm sure it's not exclusive to Runcorn. It's probably loads of places like this where people always say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in Runcorn. It's pretty crap. Nothing ever goes on." Stuff does go on. There's people like me and others that are doing music. There's another comedy night in Runcorn as well, the Comedy Office. We're working our asses off to put stuff on for people. So, just have a little look about. Not necessarily if you're in Runcorn, wherever you are, just go on social media, see what pubs are doing stuff, and go and support it. Because if people don't support stuff, then ultimately or eventually there will be nothing to do because people will stop trying to put stuff on. So anyway, that's the rant over. So I'm just gonna put my hand back in my pocket and thaw it out again. In fact, I might just do a little video of walking up here. There's a little church up there, and then we'll show you Society, and then I'm off to get me bits, not me bits done, buy some bits. So I was filming for about 5 minutes there and didn't realise that it had stopped for some reason. But anyway, this is the back entrance to Society. Just through there's a lovely little beer garden. If you don't know where it is, it's on Ashford Street, which if you don't know where that is, it's basically just under the arches in the old town. So basically there's one of said arches there. Come around the side here, you'll see this amazing mural that Satchel, who was the son of Alex and Tori that run Society, painted during COVID. I think it looks amazing. It's got Marilyn Monroe with a face mask on because that was obviously what everyone was wearing at the time. And if you look here, there's some. I didn't realise there were some art critics in Runcorn because they put a little bit of feedback there saying get rid of that disgusting mask. Nothing about how amazing the mural is, like just slagging it off, which is classic Runcorn. So there it is behind me. Society Limited. It's been my local for the last 5 or 6 years. Amazing place. Made so many mates in there. Not opening as much as it used to anymore because people aren't going to pubs and stuff. But still open. I think it's the first and last weekend of the month, and obviously the first weekend of the month is the best month to go because that's when Society's on. Sorry, but the Giggle Shack is on. And there we have some horses. Why the long face? Hey, I don't know, someone's dumped a load of horses there for some reason. What do you think of Runcorn? Would you come back? Nay. Don't worry, I don't tell jokes at the Giggle Shack. I just bring the axe on. But yeah, that was a little look around Runcorn. Pretty nice place, I think. A lot of people slag it off. I may have mentioned this earlier, but yeah, it gets a bad rep or bad rap, whatever you want to call it, Runcorn. Largely from people that live in Runcorn. Bizarrely enough, they slag it off more than anybody from outside. But you don't have to live here. Do you know what I mean? But there's loads of us out there that are trying to make it a better place. So you go on these, you go on like Facebook community forums. That's if you get past this bloody admins who I can't stand, by the way. And you put a post on there. So many people are just whinge about everything. There's going to be like an amazing art project down here. I think the 2025. I think by May it's going to be completed. Some amazing, like world-renowned artists are coming down, and they're going to paint these. I don't know what you call them, stanchions or whatever they are, with some amazing artwork, like depicting some of the history of Runcorn. It's quite a historic place, and everyone's whinging about that. Any excuse to whinge, people will take it. But there's people like myself, and there's Junior Davis, Tony Morell at the Comedy Office, who are trying to put things on to make it a better place to live. But it's quite hard to convince a lot of people to come along. So anyway, it's not really about that, is it? I wanted to show you a little bit of Runcorn before I head off to the shops now. I'm going to get something for me, dinny ding dongs, before I go back to work, and then go to the gym ahead of getting ready to go to Chicago on Saturday with work. How lucky am I? Not with comedy work, with my actual 9 to 5 job that pays the bills, but I'm going to take you guys along with me, and I'll show you some sights of Chicago, which may or may not be more interesting than Runcorn. So, thanks for watching. If you've liked it, please press like, leave a comment. Let me know. Actually, I was going to say, I think I want to see if there's something. Did I mention earlier on about getting people to join in? Anyway, let me know who your favourite comedians are. That was it. So if you live in the area, you come to the Giggle Shack, or you've never been, or you fancy it, let me know who you would like me to book. Be realistic. Don't say like bloody John Bishop or anyone like that. Any comedians you've seen that you'd like to see on, then just give me a shout. And please subscribe to the channel. We're a brand new channel, just trying to get some YouTube stuff on the go. So please subscribe. It costs you nothing. And if you press the little notification bell, then you'll find out when there's new videos coming out. So yes, thank you for watching. Hope you give us a little like and a subscribe. Bit of windy pops. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Actually, one thing I forgot to do before I sign off is give a shout out to these guys, Morgan Opticians on Church Street in Runcorn, sponsors of the Giggle Shack and suppliers of these and the other glasses that you see me wearing occasionally. So yeah, PA Morgan Opticians, Runcorn Old Town, lovely staff. Go and see Mel; they'll sort you out. In fact, they'll see you straight. Bosh.